distance between Tobago and Trinidad by plane just about 52 miles. This represents part of the trek made by this visiting Bishop's High School team, sitting close to the bottom of the table. Bishop's High School, Tobago, they need this win desperately on the road. Saying they face an uphill battle can be viewed as a dictionary-level example of an understatement. But in this beautiful game, the battle is won on the day. We are in the den of lions, where the 12th man is very relevant, as the passion of these fans echo through this Santa Cruz Valley. It's a ground where hearts are broken, dreams dismantled, where the resilience of these young men are a direct reflection of why they now top the table. This is Trinidad and Tobago. We are the home of champions, and this is the Secondary Schools Football League. Welcome everyone to Book, where San Juan North Secondary go up against Bishop High School of Tobago here at San Juan North Secondary School's grounds. Good afternoon to our viewers on SportsMax, TV6, the SportsMax app, Scene TV, and SportsMax YouTube. Looking at the weather that these young men will play under, it is 32 degrees Celsius, humidity index 63%, and wind speeds of 13 kilometers per hour. The teams are getting their chance in. My name is Hans Devines. Joining me on the pitch, former national footballer Brent Sancho and ace broadcaster and journalist James Saunders here with me. Now, while we have action here in Trinidad and Tobago, we're also getting ready for action in Jamaica with Calabar going up against Hydel High. Guys, before we go any further, let's look at the results from our last match day inside the Secondary Schools Football League Premiership Division. What results stand out for you, James?
Yeah, well, certainly that one. Fatima College going down to Presentation College 1-0. Previous league leaders and together with Naparima College, they've fallen, and San Juan back to the top with that 2-1 win over Trinity College. And of course, at Naparima as well, losing to St. Benedict's College. Ooh, that makes the pie so much sweeter. Queens Royal College, a big win over Shogunas North Secondary School, as well as St. Anthony's big over Pleasantville Secondary. Brent, how you felt about the last match day?
Well, it was interesting. Certainly brought up some surprise results. What it does says to us, and of course, as we take a look at the standings now, it just means there's no more undefeated teams in the SSFL this season. There's a lot of parity in this competition. We're starting to see a loggerhead at the top of the table. Teams like Presentation College, Speyside, of course, have made a jump, as well as St. Anthony's College. And as we look at the other side of the table, of course, relegation starts to be the conversation.
Yes.
You look at Shogunas North Secondary, Pleasantville Secondary, teams that are in and thereabout, and of course one of the teams here today in Bishop's High School, they also have their challenge coming into this one.
Well, San Juan North Secondary, they are up against Bishop High School Tobago here, but the other fixtures playing on match day 8 include all of these. All right, well, we look forward to all of the action happening in the Premiership Division today. But James Saunders, let's talk a little bit about Bishop High School Tobago.
Yeah, it's a school that is known for their academic potential, and of course the Prime Minister, as you think about our current Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, who is a past pupil of Bishop's High School, not particularly well known as the Signal Hills and the Scarboroughs in terms of footballing brilliance in Tobago, but they're here, and they're hoping to keep up abreast with the information of all that's going on. But I tell you what, they might be a bit under the weather somewhat in terms of footballing parlance, because they haven't been doing too well.
Okay.
They've played a couple of matches and they've just won one in their last 5. One match in their last 5, a 1-0 win against QRC. Apart from that, it has all been L's. Their mind will be certainly on that relegation position and trying to avoid that jump. So a point here today should be sufficient for them.
Brent, is there any comfort in the fact that they have one game still to play against Trinity College? Is that rescheduled game?
Yeah, of course, a rescheduled game. But as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, we talked about the parity in the league. And although Bishops maybe sit a bit lower in the table, they do have the optimism of moving up, of course, with the schedule. We're halfway through the season. There's still a lot of football to be played. And I'm sure if Bishops could get a big result here today, they could start turning things around. They do have good players within their ranks. that could obviously make things. Arthur, the captain in the middle of the park, normally plays a defensive at number 6 or number 8. Right. He'll be asked to shield the back four today. And of course, Wilson, the goal scorer, there's goals in his boots as well. So optimism certainly for the boys from Tobago.
Well, their coach definitely has some optimism inside of him. Here is their coach, Richard Goddard.
Bishop's High School has a year-round program. We start from about the 2nd to 3rd week in January, and we do development of players all during the course of the year. But the real meat of the session started in July. Last season for the boys, I mean, when we played the promotional playoffs, it was something, again, very new for most of the boys. I don't think most of them have ever played in this kind of environment. For them, coming into this environment was definitely a little bit of a change and a bit more trying to understand exactly what's needed to be in this environment. We have a great group of players, some young ones coming through the pipeline. I think the development program has done well. After the first few games that we've played already, they've gotten a feel for what the league really and truly needs, and I think we're in a good place to push for that. To be honest, we're not looking at winning. I mean, we're a new entrant, relatively new. We're very measured at what we're looking at. The aim again is to remain in the Premier League. We're going to push through as best as possible and give Bishop's High School the kind of representation I think they deserve as a school, and give these boys an opportunity to prove themselves.
Coach Goddard with the aim of staying in the Premiership League and avoiding relegation. Brent, who are some of the players that we can really look forward to making a difference for Bishop's Heights today?
Well, I touched a bit on Kieran Arthur, the captain of the team. He has been inspirational for them throughout. He's played in a multiple of positions. He normally operates in the 8th position where he gets a box-to-box, but today he'll be asked to play a sitting midfielder. Certainly want to keep eye on some of the attacking prowess that San Juan North present. And of course, Malik Wilson up top, he is a goal scorer. He has 2 so far for the season. If he can, of course, put things into the back of the net for them as we look at their form guide. Yes, they've had, of course, that San Juan secondary, and we'll come to them afterwards. But in finishing on the Bishop topic, if Wilson could put the ball into the back of the net, we will do well.
Well, James, let's talk about San Juan North secondary. Only 1 loss for the season thus far.
Yeah, just 1 loss and a disappointing one for them. But when you look at the opposition, it's Fatima College, the reigning intercall champions. That's not a big dent on any or any indication of how they've played so far. They're a very attacking team. They even got 2 goals in that match, but they conceded 5, which I think is one of the key elements for them. They have been conceded. And you look at Bishop's 14 they've conceded. Well, San Juan, they've conceded 10. That's not a big disparity, but they've scored 18. And that man, Suin, Kwashi, and of course Joseph, that attacking trident for them, have been very impressive in terms of getting goals. I expect lots of goals for them today, but they've got to watch out on the defensive end. That's where they're allowing it to slip sometimes.
All right. Brent, what can we expect today from San Juan North secondary here in Bougmalatris?
Well, I think they will want to go for goals, and as James would have mentioned with their attacking trident that they have, it's important that they do keep the ball out to the back of the net. Of course, the captain Lewis has been out for injury and he's back to solidify that back four, but it really is about getting points and getting goals. But what we've seen in this league so far, that it is, as I said, unpredictable with results. Indeed. They have to make sure that they're well concentrated throughout the game and making sure that they keep the ball out to the back of it and score on the other end.
Well, games are won on the actual day. When we come back around kickoff here at San Juan North Secondary School as they face Bishop High School of Tobago, we want to remind you to stay up to date with all the ACES schoolboy action and the Secondary Schools Football League Premiership Division action. Download the SportsMax app and stay in tune with everything happening. When we come back, kickoff here at San Juan North Secondary.
Well, the Boogmalachis Valley welcomes us to the secondary schools fixture. San Juan North Secondary coming up against Bishop High School. Two teams occupying contrasting ends of the table and the standings. San Juan, of course, elevated like that mountain to the top, very top. They languish in first position. Bishop, so they've got some catching up to do. They're in 14th position. It's time to smile though, because the action is just about rearing and ready here in San Juan. They will have the home advantage today as we get introduced to the boys who will be bringing joy to the faces for the next 90 minutes. Hello everybody, my name is James Saunders and I'm alongside Brent Sancho, who will provide the color and analysis for today's fixture. San Juan Secondary, that man in particular, Kwashi, they've been very dynamic, particularly in the goal scoring department. They've scored 18 so far this season, and they'll be hoping to score some more to keep themselves in the position that they've worked very hard to get to. Referee just having the moment, and then here comes the introductions. The skipper leading his boys, 52 miles the distance between Trinidad and Tobago. And the dreams and aspiration of the sister isle will rest on the shoulders of Bishop High, a school that has certainly produced lots of caliber in the academic world. Football now, it's a different proposition that they've been trying really hard to excel in. San Juan Secondary and their captain Joshua Lewis back in the lineup, just returning from injury, and they will be quite happy to have him around. Seems just about time though for introductions, and I will introduce you to the cast. Firstly, beginning with the referees for this one. Crystal Sobers, one of the 5 FIFA approved referees here in Trinidad and Tobago. She will be assisted by Majensa Wrench, that's a Dutch name by the way, and Carissa Douglas, while Natalia Williams will act as the 4th official. All the visitors are first on the map and tell you who they are and what they represent. And here we go, right on cue. Bishop Secondary, not many well-known players, but Christian McKenney will act in goal for them. They will be certainly aiming and depending on Malik Wilson and Khalil Lewis, who will be charged with getting the goals for them, while Richard Goddard, a former national goalkeeper, will be on the bench.
Well, when we look at the team formation, expect Arthur to shield the back four. Wilson, already with 2 goals so far this season, will be looked towards the man to get the goals for Bishop's High School.
Well, the boys in green from Boogmalachis, San Juan Secondary, top of the table, 18 goals they've scored, and it's primarily due to this trio. JDL Joseph, who is the right winger, Jaheim Danclair, who's netted 5 already for the season. Nathan Kwashi, the top scorer with 6 goals this far. And of course, look at that number 10, Lindell Sween, certainly one of the players of the tournament so far.
Well, when you look at their formation, Kwashi, as mentioned, slotting back into the middle of the park. Of course, Lewis, the captain, back fit. And Sween, the ever-present, of course, always a goal-scoring threat for San Juan North Secondary.
So we've got the introductions, and all eyes will be on that woman, Crystal Sobers. She will keep an eagle eye on the proceedings here as we get set and ready for kickoff here in the Secondary Schools Football League. San Juan in green, Bishop Tobago in the grey and maroon. Of course, Brent Sancho is alongside me. Brent, what do you see as the keys to this fixture?
I think certainly from a San Juan North Secondary perspective, as of course Bishop's now go on the attack, they have to fight complacency. It's of course they're on top of the table, James, and only registering a defeat recently against Fatima. They have to be guarded for complacency, and of course get the ball into the feet of men like Kwashi, Sween, Arthur, and of course this man chasing the ball here, Danclair, up front. It is critical that they play all of the football in Bishop's half. And from a Bishop's High perspective, it really is containing and limiting the space for San Juan North dangerous players. Arthur, the captain, is going to be pivotal for them. And the role that he plays, they certainly have to battle in increments time-wise and make sure that they keep the scoreline to a minimum as the time goes on. I think they will grow in confidence once they can do that.
Well, one change in goal for San Juan today. No Haynes. Stefan Langai. Oh, here's Sween. All eyes on him. That one just eluding him with the bonks. Just hitting in the old trickery. It's Lindell Sween. Couldn't find a way to find a link up with Kwashi, but still managed to hold on to possession. Joseph. Kent Guy. Time and space to pick out a green shirt in the area. Deflected. And, well, I tell you what, Dan Clare was lurking at the back door, but somebody got the all-important touch. It's a corner.
Yeah. Have a look at Coach Richard Goddard, former national team goalkeeper, doing great stuff in the island of Tobago, imparting his knowledge. But certainly needed some knowledge there to knock that one out. A good cross there by Guy, ensuing corner.
Kwashi is not going to find a green shirt with that length of service. Has occupied a defensive position last 2 matches with the absence of Lewis, but he's back to his regular position. He's already scored 6. He's the leading goal scorer.
Well, I'm looking at his positioning now, James, and he's playing even a bit more advanced than that 8 position that he normally. He could almost look like he's positioning himself in a 10 position because he's further ahead.
Well, Bishops are away. Well, had visions of grandeur. Didn't have the execution or the technique, though.
My apologies. That was Richard Decoto. Of course, Goddard is the coach for Bishops High Tobago.
Oh, here's Joseph. Green shirts arriving in the area. Kwashi for support. Couldn't pick out Sween. And a Guy couldn't keep it in. Well, here's Kwashi. He's carving away through the area. So it's yet another corner for San Juan North. Second corner they've managed to carve out early. This time Sween will take up the duties. Well, this is searching. Well, he swung the head of Kwashi. Telekinetically, they just seemed to connect, but this time he couldn't find the target.
Yeah, he was always leaning back and just couldn't control himself in the air to generate the power and direction needed to get it on frame. But certainly a deliberate target by Sween.
Well, here's Sween. Does have it from range. And wow, what a good save in the end. Cut low really well to prevent the danger. Well, the warning signs are flashing. And McKechnie, wow, he's got good hands. Not much talk about him in the build-up in terms of key players. But certainly goal difference might be something that teams might be considering, and the performance of the goalkeepers.
Yeah, and it's important. Again, another fixture where we talk about the surface. It's pretty hot here in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's quite, of course, bumpy and uneven in a lot of parts of the field, despite the fact that it looks lush and green. As we have another look here, the crack by Sween. It's good positioning, James. I'm sure you'd be proud of that as a former custodian yourself in goal.
Yeah, he kept his eyes on it well. Got his body behind it as well. Good goalkeeping. Conceded a lot this season. 14 goals against them. That's what they have conceded. But the real problem you feel with Bishop secondary is the fact that they haven't scored that many. Just 4 scored for the season. Well, they'll have to defend now, though, as Sween gets ready to line up yet another corner. The boys in grey certainly positioning themselves, just all but one player inside the area to defend this. Sween searching over the head of Kwashi, but he does find the head of that man with him. And Ferguson couldn't direct it on target. But yet again, they come calling. Yet again, he had to be alert. Ball anywhere. Just fall to a green shirt. Trying to find inroads to Sween. Here's Kent Guy. Has seen a lot of the ball so far in the opening stages. Joseph. Joshua Lewis. Switching the point of the attack to find Sween, but that's well headed away. Henry doing the defending. It's back with Sween. Quashie. While they do link up well here. Here's Lindell Sween looking for room. Oh, he's carved some room for himself here.
I thought he should have passed there, James. Looked like Dan Clare would have made a good run, cutting into the back, and maybe Sween would have been better serving, slipping that ball onto him. But instead, he tried to do it all on his own, eventually running into traffic.
Oh, that's searching. He has to get past Guy. Does a very good job. And he is fouled. Will be San Juan's ball. It's one of the first forays that we've seen from Bishop into the area.
Yeah, just a little bit overzealous there. And the pushing it back there by Jelani Johnson. Could have just allowed the guy the football and just keep him under pressure. But instead gave up the foul.
Well, Joseph can get in. It's well defended on the opposite end. So we now with Johnson. We'll have a throw. It's been all San Juan in the offensive ends of the field so far in the opening few minutes. Bishops, though, they've stood firm. Traveled a long way to come to Trinidad for this fixture. School that is known to produce outstanding students. Oh, this is searching and they couldn't get in here. Lang guy is there, he couldn't hold on. They do keep it alive here, Bishops. Can they find a way through? Well, they've been pegged back and they'll have to rotate it once again, but it's the best effort we've seen from them so far. This one is well cut out and away by Quashie. Only as far as Alum. Oh, that's a clever run. The service needed to be a lot better. And it wasn't on that occasion. Too far from Elliott.
Yeah, some signs of attacking ability by the men in grey from Tobago, Bishops High. As we look at the San Juan North bench. So a good free kick there by Arthur. Just tipping it in. Goalkeeper took a while to come out there, and when he did, he didn't do well enough to collect the football.
Well, certainly had a good idea. And well, that wasn't such a good one on the opposite end. Wilson couldn't keep it down.
But again, one or two glimpses. And it's key for them to keep this sort of momentum. I'm very sure Coach Goddard would prefer the football to be played in San Juan North's half. It's a good positive start from Bishops. Almost 10 minutes in.
Swan by Joseph. He loses possession to Johnson. Needs some support, Johnson. No foul, says Crystal Sobers. Will be San Juan's ball. Couldn't pick out Dan Clare. And it will roll all the way back to Joshua Lewis. To stand, they do find Dan Clare. He's got Joseph with him. Couldn't shed the needle. Again, Bishop give it away. Oh, talk about composure and defending. Well, he just couldn't wiggle past that man coming through Hemley, but he was fouled, so it will be the boys from the sister aisle, but the free kick. Well, they're just searching for some fluidity now, Bishop. They've been resolute defensively, but they haven't been fluid.
I think both teams, for that matter, as Bishop goes on another attack. I think because it's such a tight pitch, we always talk about of course, the size of the pitch here in San Juan North and Book, James, and it's made it very compact, especially in the middle of the park, and both teams are really struggling to find connectivity with their passes.
Joseph, Quashie, Connecting the dots now. Dan Clare. Again, it's Dan Clare making the run. Thought about shooting for a second, but he did change his decision. Oh, just couldn't get past the big frame, but he does now. Good service is needed. One wasn't to be had. And again, San Juan will try again to Desai Lewis. Here's Lewis. Dan Clare looking for Kwashi. Does get ahead of the defender. This time they get it away, but not very far. Only as far as Guy. Joseph, that's a good tackle. And will be another corner for San Juan secondary. Johnson just getting his boot on that one. Taken quickly. And he just flapped it at the back door. But nobody home in the end. What you do about nothing.
Yeah, it was a short corner taken. Kwashi tried to get a little bit of direction on it. Overhit it eventually, as there was no one there at the back post to obviously greet that cross. A couple of times we've seen that now, James. A cross is coming in from, particularly on this left-hand side for San Juan, and being overhit in most cases.
Well, that's clever from Joseph. Couldn't find Sween. He'll have a second bite. Well defended. Alum getting the touch.
Yeah, and they will have their challenges because it's so congested in the box. You're looking at least 6 or 7 Bishop's High players waiting on cross balls coming in. At some point, they may have to try another route towards the Bishop's High goal. As we do have a look at Richard Goddard, the head coach of Bishop's High. Of course, he'll be happy, James, with the scoreline so far. They have applied themselves well.
Ferguson. Hemley has to hurry. Well, whistle did come belatedly, and he was looking pleadingly at Crystal Silvers. It's Kwashi. He's found a yard of space for himself. Sween just pick out the overlapping run here. Can he find a room? Whoa, interesting save in the end from the goalkeeper, McKechnie. It's Daniel Lewis. And his shot stopped with his, is that the sole of his feet?
Yeah, a bit unconventional. I know you goalkeepers have now finding new ways of making saves, James. Can I add that to the repertoire?
Well, they do say a save is a save. I'm not sure if the coach might agree.
Yeah, because especially on this uneven surface, he could have easily bumped over his shoelaces. That would have been another story.
Will be a free kick to Bishop High.
Well, they've done well, James. You know, I mentioned, of course, Coach Goddard will be happy with the way they've applied themselves. But they've also, in the application, they've frustrated San Juan North a bit. They've not made it easy for them. They've not really had a clear-cut opportunity on goal so far. And every cross ball that's gone into the box, they've met it and cleared the area. And they've even had 1 or 2 opportunities up the other end. So, not bad so far.
Oh, that's away by Hemley. Dan Clare, turning out of traffic well. Finding room for Joseph. Does have some space to exploit. Sween is there. Oh, outside of the boots as well. He's found Lindell Sween. It's on his left boot, his favorite left boot. This time he can't get past the grey shirts. Resolutely defended. Well, bit of a panic. And Bishop might win back possession, but it does fall to a green shirt. Kwashi. Oh, here's Joseph. He's finding a lot more room now. Does have Ken Guy in the overlap. Wants to go all alone, and he's done well so far. Oh, goodness me, and shot on goal this time. But Lindell Sween couldn't find either side of the goalkeeper. To dazzle and razzle for a second. But all that glitters isn't gold.
Yeah, good bit of play here. Arthur on it here. Gets inside, cuts his man, fakes for the shot, drives to the line, and then cuts it back again. Good bit of skill. Put it on a platter there for Sween, who just misfired in his ability. Went for power. And I felt James in that instant, he could have gone for a bit more of direction and probably passed the ball into the goal. Looked like he swung with his, looking to connect with his lacings, and maybe the side of the foot would have been a better use for him and place it past the goalkeeper. But that was a chance. Certainly good work there by Arthur coming up the line. One of your key men for the game.
Certainly has. McKechnie doing the job. A long guy looking on from the opposite end. It's this man who's done well so far for Bishop High. Play will restart this time. It's Elliott. And, late boot there. Might just have caught him. And, yeah, Ferguson finds himself in the naughty corner. Wonder what he thinks about that. So, yellow card issued to Ferguson. Just catching Elliott a bit late there. Those hurt quite a lot, particularly when it's hot.
Yeah, it's a short pass there by Arthur. He got there first and studs up. That's not intentional, but I would say, James, if that was an EPL, we would have been sent to the VAR room and may have had further discussions.
But he might escape with VAR these days.
Well, the way they've been going. They've really struggled with that side of the game. Of course, a quote from the Tottenham Hotspur's coach, he said it's not necessarily the car, but it's the driver of the car. Take that how you want to. I've always welcomed the new technology, and I've always stated as well that at the end of the day, when there's human involvement, I expect mistakes.
Certainly was a human involved in that collision that earned Ferguson the yellow card. I can't see it to the top left. I struggle to get back to his feet. Shouldn't be too bad though, but it is quite painful.
Yeah, well, I did talk about Bishops being happy as to where they are, but from a Sanwa North perspective, they'll be a bit disappointed that they've not been able to get on the score sheet. I think they'll be more disappointed that they haven't created more chances. I think they need to, especially when they get into their executing third or final third, they need to be a bit more precise in what they do. A bit more combination plays. The speed of play has to be a little bit better, because certainly they're finding a wall of grey shirts when they start to approach, of course, the Bishop's High penalty area, and they have to do a better job of that. Of course, they can also look to be a bit more expansive, but in doing that, they have to make sure that the crosses that come into the box are a lot better.
Certainly do make a good point. JDL Joseph, certainly one of those out wide who've enjoyed enormous amounts of space. Can't argue that they've utilized that well, but there has been a change, early change it seems. Elliott has come out, and well, that shot has also gone out of the ground. So forced into an early change, Bishop's High School. Just wonder how that will affect the game plan. Oh, here's a new man in. And he's gotten an introduction that it's not going to be easy to get past that man, Lewis. Will be a throw. Oh, here's JDL Joseph. Back to Joseph. Can't keep it in though. Too long in the end.
Yeah, and we talked about being expansive. You'd like to see Arthur, number 11, probably pulling out a bit more.
Kwashi. Well, yeah, sweet now and just get it on target. But again, that man McKechnie, it's been good. Good hands.
He got a shot on goal, but he was always hustled and harried by the Bishop's High School midfield. Joseph there. Again, you'd like to see him wider. Again, another opportunity.
Well, yeah, he is again. This time, trying to find Sweeney. Does pick him out. He's forced onto his right boot. He much before his left, but he's done well, Lindell Sween.
No, it's a poor pass.
Kwashi on target, but just wide of the marker and certainly caused some tension. But again, the Bishop High team may survive another wave of a green attack as yes, another change has been made.
What the hell is this boy? What the hell? No.
Yeah, we have another look at it. Good work there by Sween. Muscling his way through. I thought that was a bad pass. It eventually got to Kwashi, who had to wait a bit for the ball to sit and settle, and eventually shooting wide. You're seeing glimpses, James, San Juan North, but they just can't seem to get that final pass or final shot in some circumstances on frame.
Oh, whenever they have, that man has stood firm. Well, Giovanni Burke is a new man that has come in, and he will replace the injured man, Johan Elliott. Well, the boys will have an opportunity to grab a drink. Well, there's the lady with the Dutch name, Meniska Wrench, assistant referee for this match. There's also an assistant referee for the Women's World Cup final. Assisting Crystal Sobers, very accomplished referee herself. Of course, Carissa Douglas, part of that cast as well. And it's an all-woman cast.
Yeah, credit to the ladies. They've done a phenomenal job. We've seen a lot of lady officials stepping up in competitions. Of course, in the TTPFL we've had, but we are certainly seeing an increase in numbers, which is great for the sport overall. And of course, Majeka being able to be in a World Cup finals, that is a tremendous achievement. And officials, of course, we've had games with Caleb Wales, who's also had his stint in the World Cup. So certainly from an officiating point of view, Trinidad and Tobago is certainly on the map.
All right, the boys are done with their hydration. It's back to the business of finding goals. None yet after 26 minutes here at the Bugmalachis Recreation Ground. San Juan Secondary, a school with 2 national titles, an intercol title, as well as a league title. They have been thereabout in the East Zone for years.
Well, they must feel, James, that this is a genuine opportunity to march on and win the championship. Of course, the young man who was taken off earlier from Bishop's High,
Johan Elliott.
It has been very warm as well. And they've put in quite a lot of work, the boys from Bishop's High. And you wonder, James, will they be able to keep up the pace because it's blistering warm.
Well, Panton has lost possession, and here's Sween. Well, this is good. And again, the goalkeeper has been better. Not even their leading goal scorer, Kwashi, could find a way past him. Well, the boys in grey, they've gifted possession back to San Juan yet again. Finding more space now. Squashy. Bit more mobile. They've lost it. Here comes Bishops. No support. He opts to go all the way back. It's well cut out by Desai Lewis. Oh, they're always out in support every time the boys in green play. Very boisterous football community. Certainly know their football. It's one of the areas at least San Juan Javelin Club comes from. Oh, Bishop can do it, a goal here. Oh, didn't come too far from finding the top corner. I think that man, Stefan Langai, was looking on as a spectator, hoping that the skipper didn't find the top pocket.
Well, he did make a gesture like he was going after it, James, but I don't think he would have gotten there. Goalkeeper Langai. The ball is eventually rolled to Arthur, the captain. Didn't get all of it cleanly, but I think even with the skewed effort, it posed a problem. Because I can tell you where we are from here, and the commentator's sight, it looked like it was entering in the top corner, top right-hand corner. So probably the best opportunity so far for Bishops and maybe for both teams.
Well, they've only scored 4 goals this season. Number 5 certainly would have been special had that hit the net. Panton. Has he won a corner? Yes, he has. Will be their first corner of the match. Seems that it is a corner. San Juan's turn to do their bit of defending. For all their goal scoring prowess, they've netted 18 in the competition. They've let in 10 San Juan. So it's not that they're impenetrable. Wilson's ball is good. Toss find the grey head. And maybe now, there was a green shirt in the way. They will try again, but San Juan, not before San Juan are able to clear the danger. Been forced into the uncomfortable zone, and well, Dan Clare, it's his turn to get the ball away. Oh, there's a man down in the area, hence the whistle you just heard.
Well, it was an almighty scramble in the box. That ball ping-ponged around as Ferguson seemed to have gotten a knock during the play. Instructions being handed out. But the little melee in the box there, James, that could have really gone anywhere. And I think these supporters from San Juan would be grateful that eventually it was cleared. I'm sure if you were to design a game plan from a Bishop's High, as we have another look at it, the actual injury, not the melee in the box, it looks like he was uneven when he was cooking. It was probably stepped on the left boot. And that can be painful, James, especially with these fashionable modern-day footwear that the players wear.
Well, they wear socks these days, don't they? That's how thin they are.
Well, it is proposed that you want a light pair of shoes so you could run faster. People like us that never used to run fast, it wouldn't be a problem. We could wear heavy boots.
Remember the days of the good old Copa Mundial, thick leather. Wonder what Sween has on right now. Whoa.
That's well defended.
Goalkeeper almost found out. Well defended, as you said. It's another corner.
Yeah. And give him credit. Alan Brendan, the young man, he gave away possession initially. Sween driving towards the goal. Tries to create a yard or so for a shot. But Brendan made sure and got himself in the way. That's good defending.
Oh, Sween will have another chance on the corner. It's found Kwashi yet again, and all these two combine better than peanut butter and bread. Again, this time he couldn't hit the mark. Well, we've gone past the half-hour mark, still goalless. Quashie looking to change that here. It's gone past 2. Make that 3 in the area now, and somebody got in front of Jaheim Danclair. And it's yet another corner. They're piling up now, the corners.
Yeah, look like that man again. Alan Brendan. It's a good stop. Good work there by Quashie. Driving at his man, gets past his defender. Early cross, and Alam says, no thank you, Danclair. I'll clear this one.
Well, this is high, and again,
yeah,
finds a green shirt. Ferguson this time.
It's about the 3rd or 4th time, James, that a Sandwell player has gotten under the ball and not really judged the flight of the football in the right way. The balls are coming into the box, but certainly the execution has not been the best. They can't look back at this half and say they didn't have the opportunities, whether clear-cut or otherwise. They have, and they haven't done anything with them.
Oh, they'll try again, though. Again, finding Joy out wide. Again, the pass intended for Foster. Well, Danclair is cut out. Guy. Sweden gets a boot in. It's well done, though, by Pantin. Well, look at him go, Pantin. Hung it down, though. And couldn't keep it in.
Well, he ran out of real estate eventually. But it's good play by the substitute Pantin. Bringing his team further up the park. Eventually losing possession. And that's going to become critical. They've spent a lot of time, James, as I mentioned, harrying, hustling, and charging after the football. As we look at the stats there, James, 50% pass completion from Bishop High, 62% for Sandwell North. But look at the top, 38% possession. Certainly an indication of the kind of game we saw. 62% for Sandwell North. They've dominated the possession chart, James, but still not the amount of clear-cut opportunities that come with that sort of possession dominance. They have to certainly figure out a way to create more chances.
Sween drifted across to the left-hand channel. It's well won back by Quashie. Well, Sween in a good area. It's on his right boot this time. He wants it on his left, really. And again, the captain Arthur getting in the way. Yes, Kent Guy looking for options ahead of him. Well, maybe do it yourself then. It's well defended. Right. Losing possession. Now there's a player down. And eventually play will be stopped. It's Kent Guy. Might have taken a knock. That collision with the right.
Yeah, it looked like a frailing hand, on certainly on the accidental side. They have caught Guy. I'm just listening to one or two murmurs in and around the ground, and some frustration stepping in. As we have another look at it here, the arm of right about here, into the face. Those could be quite painful. It may look like a slight touch, but yet still very impactful. So saying you do hear a tinge of frustration coming in. I'm sure fans coming in thinking first versus second or third from bottom, it would be a goal fest. And you can see here, there's some glum faces. It's not the goal fest they expected, so far at least. And a credit must be given to Bishop's High for the way they've defended, certainly, resolutely, and their application. Because it's all well and good, James, to stand up in those positions defensively, but you also have to react. You also have to close people down. You also have to put your body in the line to block shots, etc. And Bishop's High has done that so far. And that's why the score is still 0-0. And they also went down on the other end and created one or two opportunities.
Well, at least the good little soccer bags are around. Certainly keeps you occupied while you wait for the action to continue, which it has. It's carved open some space here for Quashie. Well, it's gone past his man quite easily. Good ball, and Dan Clay's here. And somehow Dan Clay contrived to miss the mark. Looked to be the opener. It wasn't.
Yeah, and I think it was more difficult to miss. Well, more difficult to score than to miss, pardon me. Dan Clay getting across there. Again, James, I would have to say he misjudged his jump just a bit. And when he did get connection with the ball, he just did not look an assured man. And I think that was the difference in why it did not end up in the back of the net. That was a chance. That was a very good opportunity. Because the goalkeeper was certainly beaten.
Oh, space out wide for Joseph. And resolute defending. Good tackle coming in there from Henry. Well, sure he's wondering how that didn't go in. It's the first time he's looked beaten the goalkeeper. Well, here they come again this time. Oh, almost one of his players getting it past him, and good hands to keep it out. They're rattling the frame at the moment. San Juan. But again, they can't find a way past McKechnie. We'll try again. Squashy. Joseph. He's gone across to the right-hand channel. Joseph. Well, it's from Joy. Oh, and this time, Dan Clare finds a way past McKechnie. And this time, San Juan take the lead. 1-0.
Well, it's the first time Bishops High have been found wanting, because there was certainly enough gracious to supply to the defense, but they didn't pay attention to the defensive task. Good work there by Joseph. He's been industrious for most of this half. Gets his cross in, and the two grey shirts ball watching. Dan Clare wasn't. Most present, atoning for his earlier error in heading wide and prodding the ball in. So good instinctive finish there by the frontman for San Juan North Secondary. And you'd have to say, James, they deserve their lead.
Well, he's joined Kwashi as the team's leading goal scorer. 6 goals for the season so far, Jaheim Dan Clare. Well, to think he's already scored a known goal as well. It's technically 7. So one thing's for certain, he does have a nose for goal, but they've broken the deadlock. The question is, how will Bishops respond? Well, that's all defended, and might be Bishop's second corner of the match. Been offered an invitation to get close to Stefan Langai and his goal.
Well, they've shown signs with their set plays, particularly in corners, that they could cause havoc in the box. The question is, can they do it here now?
Well, let's see. Captain Arthur haven't committed that many bodies forward. Just 4 grey shirts in the area. And couldn't find any of them.
I tell you what, there were some grey shirts present, but I don't think, again, they read their flight of the ball. That's good skill.
Well, here's the goal scorer, Jaheim Dan Clare. With him, Sween. It's done well, Sween. Well, Joseph is lurking. Just lost it, but he does keep it alive. He's got help. Ferguson and Lewis.
Yeah, poor marking.
Chance here, Sween!
He's got to score.
That's good goalkeeping.
Yeah, credit to the goalkeeper, but he's got to score. He has the entire frame to aim at. And Dan Clare first with the touch. I'm looking at 2 green shirts free at the back. Errant touch there by Dan Clare, who really should have been the recipient of that gift. And then Sween always stretching. Just couldn't get it into the back of the net. Another clear-cut opportunity for San Juan North. Goes a begging.
Oh, Alam's lost it. Kwashi hasn't.
Yeah, he should have shot one first time.
Well, they're knocking. In fact, they're huffing and puffing Joseph. And he's blowing that ball away. He's not going to find that back anytime soon.
As we see another chance here for San Juan North, goes a begging. You just wonder, with the chances that they've been getting, particularly that one coming back on top of the box, may have bubbled a bit. But still, I think, James, I would have still gone with the chance because he had enough time to try to, of course, execute in the right way. Because even if you miss-hit it, as long as you get it on frame, there is every chance. But decided to take a touch and eventually was closed down. And we've been seeing those sorts of chances in and there about in the San Juan North area. Because one thing we know about this Bishops team is that they'll close you down quite quickly. They won't give you any chances in their box or further upstream.
Oh, they've lost possession in a bad area.
Yeah, they're hanging on now. They really need to get to the half.
Oh, talk about composure, but he's lost it.
Yeah, it's always dangerous.
Tanclair, the circus tricks, and Guy couldn't find a way through. There's Quashi. He's everywhere now, Quashi. Kent Guy. Heavy touch.
Yeah, as we have another look at it here. I would have hit it first time here, James. He took a touch. It wasn't the best of touch. In fact, it wasn't a good touch at all. And maybe if he'd shown a bit more confidence, might have given himself a chance of putting it to the back of the net. I say at least go for it, because if you do get it on frame, then you can have the conversation otherwise.
Here's Jaheim Danclair. He went for it, but didn't have the direction though.
And I think that's the story of the half so far for San Juan North. They found themselves in positions that really they should be putting the ball into the back of the net, but they found wanting.
Still got just over a minute of time in regulation and what will be added. Bishops getting that one chance early to their captain, Arthur. After that, it's pretty much been blanks. Well, this time they'll try to be more decisive. They need something decisive. They are trailing. Well, maybe now. Just thought about it too long, but it remains alive. Right, and well, Langai can hold on. But this time he does.
Tell you what, I was looking at that ball spilling out from Langai. Lewis was quick to out the danger, but that could have easily snuck in.
Well, he's lost that battle with Quashi. He's losing the foot race as well. Well, was that a handball in the area? Flag stays down. Play continues. Well, here's Sween. That's what he does. Lindell Sween. Time plus space equals beautiful goals. Goal number 2. Goal number 6 for him. And San Juan, they can breathe a sigh of relief. They're comfortable.
Yeah, and in a game where they haven't prided themselves in the way they're finished, Sween comes up with his actual beauty. So miss kick there by Pantin. Sween lays it up. That's a laser of a left foot shot. All laces, good technique. The goalkeeper had absolutely no chance. To react to that, I think he'd have to be Superman or have some special powers, because of the power that came out of that number 10's foot. To latch onto that football was great.
So Lindell Sween on the score sheet. San Juan 2 goals to the good. Well, Bishops still trying to get in, but he couldn't find a way at goal despite the individual brilliance. But maybe now Sween could be in. He's onside. The flag remains down. First time ball. Just find Joseph. Appeals for a handball. Ignored by the referee. It's Desai Lewis. Quashi. Well, he wants to go. Not this time. It's rare that he doesn't get on the score sheet. And you can tell his frustration that he hasn't. It's their high scorer, 6 goals so far in the competition. Swede, of course, would have seen his club teammate, Dante Lewis, score yesterday for PSV Eindhoven 2. In fact, he's been called up to the first team today after that goal he scored in their 3-2 defeat.
Of course, Dante playing with Presentation College last season. Another product of the SSFL, going on to great things. And I certainly would think that some of these youngsters would want to emulate his steps. It's a meteoric rise from Dante. It's a big step for him. Just recently signed to PSV, James, and now he's on the first team. That's a good pass. He's got to finish.
Well,
he doesn't.
Gravity worked against him. And again, it's the second ball that has gone into that jungle behind the goal. They're running out of balls.
Well, I'm not sure if the first one came back.
Well, they'll have a chance to break and think about it as the first half comes to an end. It's a first half that has benefited the boys in green. He's been good. McKechnie, his defense, well, not so much. They've conceded 2 goals away from home. As at halftime here in San Juan, it is San Juan North 2, Bishop High School 0. We take a break and come back.
Welcome to SSFL Premiership Division.
Well, welcome back to Boog Malachis. Well, we've just witnessed a scintillating first half. 2 goals to the good, San Juan over Bishop's High. Let's look back at the memories and see how it unfolded here in the place that they call Book. Well, it was a schooling from the time that whistle blew to open the settings. Ken Guy and Quashi trying to find the back door. Couldn't find a way in. And then, of course, combination plays, the order of the day. This one, on target, but not effective from Daniel Lewis. Later on, Joseph. Look at this for footwork. Abracadabra. I'll make a man sit down. There we go. Sween, though, couldn't find the target. Not away past McKechnie. But this time, though, Sween, he got closer. Again, McKechnie being the arch nemesis. And that was the Sween dancing show here. Dancing the lambada. But Kwashi, well, couldn't find the far corner. On the opposite end, Arthur, perhaps the best chance of the half for the boys from Bishops. Before Sween did that, man. And, well, had that blast stopped. Kwashi on the opposite end, though, was carving open chances. He thought that Dan Clare perhaps should have put that away. He didn't. Even friendly fire. McKechnie was saving that until Joseph. How about this for the Eagle Eye service? And Dan Clare is present at the table to gobble up. And that is 1-0 to San Juan. The door is opening up. Dan Clare's 6th goal of the season. And then later on, look at this. Sween, you expect him to score, but not when there's a McKechnie who's in form. But of course, expectations are birthed in reality. And that was the reality. Using immense technique to find a way to smash the net. That made it 2-0, and that's how it stands at the halftime whistle. All right, we've seen the pictures. Let's see the numbers now. And shots, San Juan certainly dominating that category, 15-4. Shots on target, San Juan getting 9 of those on target. Bishops just 1. When we come down the standings to corners, that is dominated again by San Juan North, 6-2. And possession easily, 62-38 in favor of the boys from San Juan North. But the main number that we look at is the one at the top, San Juan North. 2 goals to the good over Bishop High. I've got some guys eager to chat about it, Brent Sancho and Hans Devines, and they're standing by.
Thank you very much, James Saunders. Brent Sancho, 2-0, of course. The statistics that we're really going to look at. But let's talk about the possession. Does it reflect the result?
No, it certainly doesn't. And when you look at the numbers, particularly the shots on top, 15 for San Juan North, and of course below with the possession, it tells you of a one-sided game, which we have seen here today. But certainly the execution at the end has not been good enough for San Juan North. Yes, they are 2 goals up, but the sort of opportunities they have created, they should have had a greater numerical advantage thus far. That would be the conversation halftime with Coach Mo, because they have to do better in front of goal.
Well, Bishop High School looked for the first 30 minutes of this one like they had what it takes to keep Sao at a 0-0 coming into the half. Brent, where did Bishop High fall down?
I think a bit of it is fatigue, and they lost their shape and discipline coming more to the end of the half. Of course, it's a very humid day here in Trinidad, and they've been hurrying, hassling, closing down, and doing well to stay compact. They had the numbers, make sure that they repelled everything that came at them. But then, of course, fatigue stepped in.
Yeah.
We started to see individual errors in certain particular areas of the park. And, of course, a wonder strike by Sween gave the second one. So they have to regroup, of course, and they have to do a little bit better. One thing I would say as we look at the highlights from the half, of course, this was the first goal by Dan Clare, probing in there to make sure he got a chance. Again, 2 players in grey falling asleep at the first post, allowing Dan Clare to ghost in to put it into the back of the net. That came down to fatigue, I would say, Hans. And of course, this screamer here from Sween, again,
amazing.
Another individual error, but you can't take away from that sort of finish. I think from a Bishop's perspective, they have to clear up on those individual errors and make sure that they stay fully concentrated throughout the half.
Brent, if you're Coach Jerry Moore on the half, what are you telling your charges?
You have to score. You have to do better in the goal scoring. They're getting themselves into positions, crossing the balls into the box, shooting, passing, etc. It has to be better in front of goal, a lot more clinical in front of goal to make sure that. And of course, they have to go away from complacency at the other end.
And as for Coach Goddard, what would you tell the boys of Bishop High School Tobago?
I think at some point they have to try to possess the football, because yes, that's where you get your rest in football when you're chasing a harrier. They have, of course, given up the fact that they are going to be the one with the majority possession, but when they do have the football, they have to make it count. They've had 1 or 2 opportunities in set plays. They have to look for that again and be a little bit more clinical there as well.
Well, their captain went all out defending. I saw him lying down at some point in time in front of the box. Here's Karen Arthur, the captain of Bishop High School Tobago.
The preparation was kind of stiff during the holidays because we had some players going abroad and they didn't come back until like 3 games into the tournament, and it was kind of difficult because we was missing almost half the team. But we nevertheless stick together and put together a team for the first 3 games. Our team has a lot of critical thinkers, so I think our team advantage is actually thinking in tight spaces and this sort of stuff. We tend to enjoy the game more, and by enjoying the game more, we play to our best, I will say. My mentor is my coach, Richard Goddard. He takes his time with each and one of our players because our school is not mostly known for the footballing type of school, but he has groomed and nurtured a lot of players for the past few years for us to reach at this level. My first goal is to actually stay up in the Premier Division, as this is our 2nd time here, and we are trying to build a strong foundation here. All the traveling and stuff we do to come to training and the hours we finish training, well, we're here to do something and we might as well do it good and done. So we're here keep working hard and hoping to achieve our goal of staying here in the Premier Division.
Well, we can see if they can think in tight spaces moving into the second half. Here's something not just to think about, but to actually do. Go on the App Store or the Google Play Store and download the SportsMax app and stay up to date with all of the secondary schools Football League Premiership Division. When we come back around the second half, Sawa North at 2, Bishop High School, Tobago, unable to find the back of the net as yet. Halftime is up next.
Welcome to SSFL Premiership Division.
Well, Bishop High School has been able to produce 2 prime ministers, a president, and the Chief Justice, but they'll need to produce goals because San Juan North lead this game by 2-0 at halftime. 45 more minutes remain, and it's those boys in green. Team that prays together, stays together, and apparently scores goals. San Juan have done the job so far in the first half. The referees and officials are back on the pitch. That means that the action will continue on the other end. Can the boys in grey get it together? Well, they certainly think so. Your team that are critical thinkers, as you heard during their halftime interval. And, well, they've got a problem to solve. A way to find a way back in this match. Those guys on the bench usually tasked with finding solutions, but it's those boys on the field tasked with executing them. My name is James Saunders. Brent Sanchez alongside me as we bring you the SSFL action here on SportsMax. Don't forget to download the SportsMax app for all of the happening stuff. And of course, you can also follow the ISA Schoolboy Football in Jamaica. Hello, welcome to everyone also viewing on YouTube. Vibrant community there, viewing our match live at the moment. We are grateful for you. Jerry Moe, said all that he's needed to see at the half. It's for the boys to continue now. Usually that shout means that they're ready. How about that for seats? Covered stands, Brent?
Shaded stands, I would say.
Oh, that's a fair assessment.
Well, coming out of Jamaica, of course, in the Manning Cup, the Costa Cup competition, there were some suspensions. Both Innswood High and Keltis High has been suspended for the remainder of the 2023 Manning and the Costa Cup competitions, respectively. Big news coming out of Jamaica. They've also been banned from participating in the 2024 Manning and the Costa Cup. So that is certainly huge news coming out from the disciplinary committee in the ISA football.
Yeah, certainly impactful moment. Don't think I've seen teams banned for the entirety of a season.
Yeah.
I remember with Chiva Boys some years ago, they deducted points, but to be completely banned.
Yeah, which is, of course, to delve a little bit deeper into it, they've been accused of use in the investigation use of ineligible players, which is certainly a serious indictment as that shot sails over the bar. And of course, we've always had this debate here when it comes to schoolboy football throughout the Caribbean, I would say. How badly do you want to win? At the end of the day, it is school football, and there have to be important lessons imparted into these young men. Cheating is not one of them, and I'm not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that both teams that have been suspended have cheated. Of course, this is still under investigation, but we've had instances, James, throughout, not just this, but throughout secondary school football of those sorts of situations. It's really a travesty that that happens at this level.
Oh, here's Kent Guy. Couldn't find a way past the grey shirts. He will have to try again. San Juan, Lewis. Aimed into Dan Clare. And both players have gone down. Referee blows in favor of Dan Clare. So there will be a San Juan free kick.
Yeah, both players, I would say both players' elbows and hands frailing about there. But of course, Dan Clare won it. Well, the free kick, that is. In a very dangerous position, I would say. This free kick is getting the attention of Joseph, Sween, and of course, Kwashi, the usual suspects.
Don't think his expression has changed all game. Can you tell if he's happy?
Well, I think he'd be disappointed that they're not further ahead. Of course, we touched on that a bit. And we talked about how close it's been in the league so far. And from a goal difference perspective, they need goals.
It's Kwashi on frame! Well, he's put his name in the headlights. because you can't keep him up the score sheet. Remember the name, Nathan Kwashi. San Juan 3-0 up.
Textbook stuff. A lot of attendance, good technique, up and over. Really class. Goalkeeper had no chance, beaten, all ends up. It's such a difficult skill to get the ball up and over the wall. But Nathan Kwashi made that look simple as he sprinkled some of base salt into the wounds of Bishop's High. 3-0.
Well, the equation has gotten bigger for Bishops to solve. San Juan, the league leaders, found themselves comfortable at the moment. It's the attacking trident getting all of the goals. Well, here's Kwashi now. He's got dancing feet, everybody knows that. He's gone past 5, but he's gone in the wrong direction. And, well, that certainly has missed the direction of where it was intended. So Dan Clare, Sween, Kwashi, all finding a way in, and, well, he's in trouble. Eventually able to get it away, Murray. Still coming from distance. Oh, McKechnie had the safe hands and his eyes on it all the way. Confidence is certainly rising.
Well, it was a shot from way outside. Looked like it had power, but it certainly faded at the end. You do think James Bishop's High really have to stem the flow of San Juan North, because the next goal, and you would start to think this can get to a high scoreline, but here he comes, Joseph.
Sween. His intentions were clear enough for the defender. What about Joseph? He's gone past Pantin. He's lost his footing, but he can't find more space in here. And just over the head of the man coming in. Lewis. Sween. Kwashi. Just on the hit, and San Juan doing well to keep possession. That's clever from Kwashi. Joseph is in. Oh. Sent him for drinks. Couldn't get one over. Oh, how about this? It's an individual run here. It's all alone though, Lewis. And legally bumped, says Crystal Sobers. Will be a free kick. He's done well, Lewis, to keep hold of it.
Look at this for a peach of a free kick. He's got it up and over. Also had enough power to beat McKechnie. He's been knocking the door all afternoon, and he's finally been allowed in. As you mentioned, James, he's had a good returns tally as it relates to goals. He's 6 for the season, that there being his 7th. And for a midfielder, that's quite good returns.
Must include the fact that he played as centre-back in 2 matches.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. Defending is better, but he's done well to keep it alive, and they can't keep it alive. Here's a substitute, and it's a corner. It's a Keelan Jack within seconds of coming on the field as one a corner for Bishop's High. It's just their third corner of the match so far.
I'm looking at the amount of, or I should say, the lack of grey shirts in the area, which is strange, especially being 3-1 down.
Oh, that's away by Kwashi.
They have 4 players outside of the area, and they're attacking with 4. Well, yeah, it's strange, to say the least, James, particularly being 3-1 down. You thought at least 6 or 7 in the area.
Yeah, even in the first half, that seems to be the tactic. Oh, this is floated in deep. Oh, Langai just seemed to lose his footing there. And wow, just fell beyond him. Can't say he's been convincing in his handling. He's kept a clean sheet, most importantly.
Yeah, he has. And I think that really is now the emphasis going forward. Because you would think at 3-0 down, despite the great men that have gone to this school, these players would have to be of another level to get back into it. Of course, there's a lot of time still in it. But it really is now an exercise of keeping the ball out and whether or not they can increase the scoreline. I think we had one half-time score, James. And it was Fatima leading Chaguanas North by 1-0. Of course, Fatima and Sanwa North already playing. There's still some mouth-watering fixtures to come. And the good news for all our viewers out there is it is still extremely tight as we get to the halfway stage. I'm sure these men here on the bench know that they're still miles away from even talking about winning a league title.
Well, the thing is that we do have a plethora of matches happening today. This match, of course, would have started half hour earlier than the other fixtures. Chaguanas North, of course, taking on Fatima College, who lost a top spot after their defeat last week. East Myokorapo against St. Anthony's, Malik against St. Mary's, Naparima College, another team vying for the top spot against Trinity East. Pleasantville up against Darima North. And of course, we've got Presentation against QRC and St. Benedict's against Speyside. So those are the other matches on tap today. So should have results or halftime scores coming in from those matches soon.
Yeah. And you talk about, of course, teams that are starting to claw their way into the competition. Arima North Secondary, certainly one of them. Whether or not Naparima College can rebound from their defeat against St. Benedict's College. And there's been a lot of conversation about the words of Coach Travis Marine and citing that his players are not listening to his tactical advancements that he's laid out for them.
Certainly was a topic of conversation all week.
Yes, it has been. And I think a lot of talkers on the topic were suggesting that you shouldn't put your players out to dry. As we have another look at this. Good goalkeeping there. Danclair, of course, didn't see. Well, he did see, but he couldn't stop. But yeah, it has been a lot of talk about that and whether or not a coach should say those sorts of things about his players. Of course, there's always dividing views on such a topic. Some coaches decide to wash their dirty linen inside instead of outside. I think the question now for Coach Marine is whether or not he follows through on what he suggested in playing younger players. And I think that will be the question.
Oh, certainly will be. Always something to discuss in football. That's why it's enjoyed by so many million people around the world. Always like the spicy stuff as well.
Well, it's a difficult one because it is a known fact that these are the very same players you want to play for you, and if you are to hang them out to dry in public, as some may say, I think Travis would be saying that he's just speaking the truth as far as he's concerned.
A la Jose Mourinho.
Exactly. And we all know the kind of success he's had. He's had tremendous success as a coach.
Well, it's noteworthy to say that the leading goal scorer does come from Naparima College. And it's San Juan at the moment, running up the tab. Boys in grey haven't had much luck. And, I'm sure he'll be saying that he didn't have much luck as well. Hemley has been toppled over. It's second San Juan player to go down in just a few minutes. Those two, they're plotting. Find a way back in this match or consolidation.
Well, I think when you listen to the sentiments expressed by the Bishop's coach and the staff, the players, it really is about survival. So they would have looked at this fixture as if one of those that they didn't expect to get much out of. And I think it really comes down to the results against the teams in and around them. That really is going to determine their survival.
Oh, they're ensuring that they survive. Some munchies. Bishop's High, of course, a school perhaps among the highest rated, if not the highest rated, in terms of academic brilliance in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a school that has been around over 90 years, I believe. Have produced prime ministers, of course. E.N.R. Robinson, who the airport is named after, former prime minister and president here in Trinidad and Tobago. And the current prime minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, all past pupils of Bishop's High. Think of the Chief Justice as well, Ivor Archie, another Bishop alumni. It is good to see the balance now, and certainly they'll be hoping to reflect that with some top sportsmen coming out of the institution as well.
Well, he did say at the top of the program, James, normally Tobago produces the likes of Scarborough Sec, Signal Hill Senior, of course Speyside, who's in the competition as a team effort, but nevertheless on target there. That should be happy about by Malik Wilson. Already have 2 goals this season. But Bishops, of course, have been here before. And they've shown that they could, of course, rebound and get back into the fray. There's another dangerous chance here for San Juan.
Here's Joseph.
It's got to finish.
Stands classes now. Good defending, but can they get it away? Still up for grabs and might have come off Sween last.
Yeah. Or not.
That's a goal kick.
Yeah. I think it really is all about survival here for Bishops. Not necessarily in this game. It may be a done and dusted situation. But I think moving forward, and one of the things that is intriguing is the calendar, or the schedule that remains. And although there's still some time left in this game, he wondered if he couldn't curl the ball. And he's been guilty of this, Joseph. He had 2 opportunities to strike and goal. Instead, he wanted to dribble his way through. And that's, of course, what I spoke about at halftime, being clinical in front of goal. You have to pull the trigger. There's no need for that.
Oh, this man has already pulled the trigger. Sween. This time he has his legs pulled from under him. And a yellow card will be issued as well. It does seem like it is that man. Wright will receive the caution. Both teams, though, will use the opportunity to make changes. Chardell Chase Charles is the man coming on for San Juan. Oh, he's been recalled. We'll have to wait till Natalia Williams sends him on his way. So Speyside will make the change first. And Chardell Chase Charles will come in as well. Brendan Allum is the man who's gone on.
Well, I did point to you, James, about how early Bishops came out to warm up this afternoon. They were out promptly at about 2:30, and it was scorching hot And I did say to you, James, I wonder if they're out a bit too early. I don't want to suggest that maybe that's the reason, but you may have to look at it because
it's hot as well.
When it's hot as it was today, you try to spend as least amount of time out in your warm-up particularly.
Sween, and this time McKechnie gets a hand to it. Oh, this is long, and
he's got to deal with it. He hasn't.
Substitute is the intended man. To Mario Henry. Top left will, of course, give you an indication of who came in and who went out. So Pantin was the man sacrificed for Demario Henry. Oh, so it's the grey shirts. And they string a passage of play together. It's well defended by Kent Guy. Just haven't had the luck of the bounce this afternoon, Bishop High. Certainly have a physicality to compete. It's collectively where they've struggled in this match. Oh, he's just been muscled out of possession there. But he's done enough to win it. And San Juan will clear their lines this time. It's only as far. Game becoming a bit stretched now. Bishop winning the second ball. Quite a few occasions.
I think the last thing San Juan North needs is Bishops to score, because then certainly that would give them some sort of belief that they can get back into it. Interesting enough, Bishop's next fixture, James, is against Naparima College in Lewis Street on Wednesday of this week, and San Juan North travel to Tobago for Speyside. So two difficult fixtures for both teams. Bishop's going to Naps, and of course San Juan having to navigate that tricky trip to Tobago.
Speyside for that matter. Well, this is searching, it's good as well. To glance off the head of a man in grey. San Juan can break to Jaheim Danclair. He's got Chase Charles ahead of him. And well, his attempt at goal is foiled. Sween, though, thought that maybe he might have been the man picked out at the far post.
Yeah, it's a good counter-attacking play by San Juan North, but also good defending there. Eventually, that man Kieran Wright getting back. Of course, not allowing that opportunity there for Chase Charles, who found himself at the end of it. He had a slight hesitation before he pulled the trigger. Certainly gave Wright the chance to get back. Of course, some of the halftime score, James. It's interesting. Fatima 1, Shogunus North 0. We did say that, but Pleasantville Sec 0, Arima North Secondary 1. So tight games all around. Certainly the hallmark of this competition so far. No team has really ran away with the competition. It's been close, and it has had and thrown up some very interesting results.
Yes, Lindell Sween. Well, certainly got sugar in the boot of his. Well, this is good. And Dan Clare was there. Couldn't connect well. Certainly taking their feet off the gas, San Juan, but when they do get in attacking positions, they have looked deadly. Kent Guy just putting his big frame across the path of the Bishop attacker. Well, he's done well, hasn't he? But he's lost out now, and again San Juan tried to counter, but there's a whistle and a yellow card. And it's the substitute that will receive a caution. Mario Henry.
Yeah, he was late. And certainly there, after Lewis passed the ball, that was almost scissors type. And you could even suggest, James, that referee Sobers was a bit lenient.
Yeah.
It was not only late, but it was very, very dangerous. Getting up to speed, the substitute. Mario Henry.
Can tell you what, he's no nonsense, isn't he?
Well, I would call that more than no nonsense. That was high, it was late, and it was dangerous. Lucky.
Oh, certainly living a charmed life. To escape with just a yellow card. So he does get a caution, and well, McKechnie taking precaution. Come again to Joseph. Should be McKechnie's to handle, and he does his job. Will be defended. Henry. It's back to Henry. Can't keep it in though. Also more scores. Presentation leading QRC by a goal to nil. Malik leading CIC, St. Mary's College, by 3 goals to 2. And St. Anthony's College leading East Mukarapo by a goal to nil. As the players get some hydration therapy.
Well, I was alluding to, of course, fixtures to come, James. I'm trying to pull out my ever-present crystal ball as some of the players get hydrated. And there's some really mouth-watering games to come. And, of course, this group here feels that they have a chance. As we take another look at the goals, Joseph supplying for Dan Clare, and he finishes stretching, but still was able to get it past the goalkeeper of Bishops. 1-0 to San Juan North. Another effort here, mistake at the back. And look at this for a finish. The goalkeeper had absolutely no chance. Thought about diving, but couldn't get there. A laser of a shot by Sween into the back of the net. And a beautiful free kick by Nathan Kwashi, his 7th of the season. The transfer out of Queen's Royal College, celebrating good technique, ball over and out. Not sure about the celebration there. Nevertheless, they're up by 3 goals to nil. And of course, if this result stands and you look forward to the games to come, of course, San Juan North on Saturday the 14th, James, they host Naparimo College right here.
That's a juicy fixture.
And I would dare anyone to suggest that that fixture is going to decide it. Here's Dan Clare. He's got to hit the target.
Yeah.
Over the bar.
Certainly had time and space, didn't he?
Yeah. But you just feel that this year's edition of the SSFL, as we have another look at it, poor defending again by Bishop, straight onto the foot of Dan Clare, who controls it well, but was always leaning back and stretching and couldn't fully get his laces through the leather. But when you talk about San Juan North chances, they certainly should think that they're there and thereabouts, James. The challenge is that there are other teams that would have a say in that.
Yeah, everybody's going to be coming for that position. Certainly this man, Sween. Chase Charles going past everybody. Couldn't find Dan Clare. Oh, there's a look at Elijah Manners. Was the captain of the San Juan team last time they captured their last national title. Did capture a national intercall and league title. Was the top scorer, top player. I believe he received MVP that year as well. Did go on to play San Juan Jablete senior team and did get a handful of national appearances as well.
Of course, a Caribbean Club Championship winner with Central FC, as well as a TT Pro League Championship winner with Central FC.
Yeah, not a bad career if you ask me.
Not at all. Look at Sween here. Is this a penalty or not? No. He was always stumbling over. Don't think he would have caught up with that ball.
Oh, and add one more, Brent. Was an FA Trophy winner in 2010 with Javelin as well, Manners. Well, the clock ticking down, and with it, the hopes of space.
That's good skill.
Bishop's High School.
That's good skill.
Oh, this is good. It's promising as well. Oh, maybe a consolation here for Bishops. Just hesitated a bit long, you feel.
Yeah, it's well defended there by Guy. You had to be careful as well, because you don't want to get your legs tangled and end up in a situation that puts a question mark in the official Sober's head that it might just be a penalty. This is another good play here by Bishops.
Oh, that guy got a touch. And the follow-up effort.
Well, I'm hoping that one doesn't go over into the graveyard as well. What is actually over there?
Well, who knows? Mythical creatures and scary stuff, you would imagine.
Well, again, good attacking play by Bishop. Ball comes over. Not necessarily dealt with in the right manner by Langai.
Oh, man down, as they say. Desai Lewis has been very involved in this match, and it might be his last contribution, judging from that signal.
Yeah, and I just wonder, at some point, Coach Mo will have to look at this and think he needs to get some rested legs. They've had a slight dip in performance as well. They lost their first game when their captain, Joshua Lewis, was out with injury. So they really would like to get a full slate of players with the running of games that they have. But it's all about, of course, game management.
Oh, this will be a throw for San Juan. Oh, there we go, the graveyard. Already lost 2 balls behind there. And you asked me the question, Brent, what lives behind those bushes? I dare you go find out.
Well, with the optimistic mind that I have, it might be nice flowers and a botanical garden, James. But I'm certainly not going to go find out.
Yeah, you've been reading too much Enid Blyton. I've read R.L. Stein.
It does give a picturesque look of the set of a Halloween show, possibly.
Oh, we're close to that time of year. Oh, this will be a long throw for the boys in green. Thump this back in the area. Cackney has his eyes on it, and will collect. No goals have been scored in the second half. All 3 goals coming in the first half. Dan Clare, Quashie, and of course Lyndall Sween, the scorers. Well, Joseph might want to add his name to that list. Just seemed to miss kick it. Good defending as well.
Well, he did kick it, but with the wrong foot.
Oh, they'll battle for this, and illegally so. Oh, the numbers on the screen yet again. The pass completion, it's gone up somewhat for Bishops. It's gone down just a notch for San Juan.
Yeah, and possession as well is going up for Bishop a bit. But the pass completion is, of course, indicative of what we've seen in the second half from San Juan North. It's despite the goal by Nathan Quashie, as the Caribbean Airlines looks like the ATR Tobago jet coming in. Of course, those boys from Bishops will be boarding that very same plane in the not too near future, and also San Juan North as they head to Speyside for their fixture over there on Wednesday. But the second half has been very disjointed by San Juan North. Not the fluidity that we saw in the first half, certainly from a possession point of view. And you would think, James, we talked about how close this would be. Goal difference may come into play.
Yeah, certainly that will be a consideration. Slangai collects. Well, the 2 changes just a while ago, with Mikel Batiste coming in for San Juan, and Tashawn Kerr coming in for Bishop's High. Almost said Speyside for a second. There's a Captain Arthur. Well, can he get something out of this match? Certainly would hope to get from this bit of possession. Langai is there first, though. And Alum trying his very best. Couldn't pick anybody out. Well, it's certainly going the direct route now. Speyside. And, well, it's done well. Stop that from going out for a corner. Yes, Lyndall Sween. Dan Clare could win this race, but that's excellent defending from Alum.
Yeah, he did well. He did really well. Can Lewis do the same? No, he doesn't. He's lucky.
Well, he's done well to keep it alive, and here comes Bishops.
That's well defended.
It's only as far as the substitute, Henry. Here's Arthur. They'll regroup and come again, the boys from Bishops. Arthur gets McKechnie involved. He opts the long route. Langai will be grateful for this. Inside the final 8 minutes of this match. Well, this is clever. The captain was aware. To Alum, but that's good awareness. And it's a phenomenal finish from Lyndall Sween. Sween magic. And another goal for San Juan, 4-0.
And yeah, another individual error by Bishops. Catch you with no chance once Sween wriggled his way free. And they've really shot themselves in the leg this afternoon, Bishops. It's good innovation by Dan Clare. It wasn't quite put enough. Alam decided to go to ground, which was ill-advised, really. And Sween rolled that challenge and eventually put it into the back of the net, as we have probably the biggest ovation for the night, James. And the substitution of goalkeeper Langhai.
Yeah, he's done his job, Langhai. And in comes that man, Haynes. Savion Haynes. Given an opportunity. Oh, here's Henry. Quashi. It's been a bit quiet this second half. Guy. Well, this is long and too long. Well, Sween could be on a hat trick. Oh, he gets it. It's a hat trick for Lindell Sween. And the Mad Hatters come to the ball. It's a party here in San Juan. 5-0.
Well, we did say we expected goals in this fixture this afternoon, and certainly when you talk goals, you talk about that man who was previously in your screen, in Lindell Sween. Headed forward there by Quashi. Dan Clare puts it forward. Good pass. Again, another poor challenge. Look at that for a finish. Side of the foot volley into the back of the net. And nothing Makechi could do. A hat-trick for the number 10. He'll be very proud of the finishes that he's had this afternoon, particularly the two airborne ones that he controlled masterfully with his finishing prowess.
Well, second half has come alive once again for San Juan. Mikel. He has the hat-trick man, Sween. This time he couldn't find a way through to Mikel. Sween. Dan Clare. Well, cold sweats every time he's in the area. Looks so dangerous, Lindell Sween. Two of his goals being on the volley. He's got great technique. Chase Charles. Mikel Batiste. And this will be a San Juan throw. Here's Chase Charles finding Quashi. It's already caught on the score sheet himself. This time the Bishop's defense does its job, and well, they could break on the opposite end here. Bishop's, he's pushing a long way, and Haynes will get there first.
Support touch, really. And maybe, James, he should have done better with that touch. Seems like he had the acres of space.
Well, good time to look at our SportsMax app moment. And, well, can you guess it? Definitely was Nathan Quashi. Kiss of death. Perhaps the goal of the match and our SportsMax app moment. Well, Dan Clare will have an early afternoon as San Juan has brought in Michael Greenaway. Oh, by the way, just in case you're wondering, Lindell Sween is now the joint leading scorer in the competition. His hat-trick today, taking him to 8 goals, level with Naparima's Kanye Francis and the St. Mary's Ryan Randelant and Kyle Phillip.
Well, that's providing, of course, they don't score themselves. which I believe I saw.
Oh, he'll have to retake that again. Certainly turned on the afterburners. San Juan secondary. It's Chase Charles. Just ricocheted away from Sweden. Bishops will go hunting again for a goal. It's another futile foray forward. Well, maybe the captain, Arthur, can inspire something. Not that time. Lewis' pass is deflected. It's won back by Bishops. Well, look at this from Henry. He's lost possession, though. And Sween will get Joseph thumping his way forward. It's too long for anybody but Mikel Batiste. Chase Charles. Daniel Lewis. And that will be a throw to the boys from Bugmalachus. San Juan last won a league title in 2006. And, well, a win today will keep them on top of the table and on the hunt, perhaps, another national title. Well, this is good. Promising. And, well, the promise has materialized. It's goal number 6 for San Juan secondary. And, well, it's game, set, and match, you feel, for the boys from Bugmalachus. For him, well, it's just a bad day at the office. Not sure what he's thinking.
Yeah, the ball is rotated eventually over. Good pass by Kwashi. The Bishop's defense stretched. And Joseph with the simplest of tasks to tap it by Makechi. And with tired legs and tired minds, with 4+ minutes, it really is about Bishops hanging on and making sure that this doesn't get even worse.
Sween. Touch too heavy. Oh, that's a good touch. And the second part of the execution for Henry didn't quite pan out. Well, more changes for San Juan. And it will be that man, Hakeem Bartholomew, given an introduction, and the captain, Joshua Lewis, will have a rest. Oh, we've already played 1.5 minutes into the 4 minutes of added on time. Maybe enough time for Bishops to get on the score sheet. Got a free kick.
Yeah, and Ferguson is lucky because he upended his man, I think was about to go in on goal. But can they conjure up something here? Bishop's High. There seems to be a couple in attendance. Alum is one. And of course,
Malik Wilson.
Malik Wilson, who scored 2 goals. Yeah, you're right, James. Who would it be?
Only scored 4 goals this season. Malik Wilson has scored 2 of those 4. Oh, Wilson has moved away. It's going to be Alum. Well, on target, but he can't beat Haynes. I always felt that that was the moment for Bishops to get something out of this match. Henry. Well, they've lost out to Sween. He's got bodies ahead of him. Straight to the goalkeeper, McKechnie. Clock ticking down inside the final minutes of a grace period allotted. San Juan, they want something more here. Sween has already gotten 3 of the 6 chances, 6 goals for that matter. And that might just run out for, well, hasn't gone out, it's stopped. And it's just about a matter of seeing the clock down. San Juan, they've completed the job and will remain at the top of the standings. More importantly for them, they've given themselves a healthy goal difference as the confirmation comes from the blast of Crystal Sober's whistle. And San Juan secondary, Quashi and company, have done the job. For Bishops, it's been a fruitless visit to Trinidad. The coaches, of course, know how hard they would have worked. But in the end, it's the performance on the field that sets the difference. And it's that man, Lindell Sween, who will be celebrated. A hat-trick today for him. Disappointment for Alum and company. Because here in Bugmalachis, at the end of 90 minutes, it's San Juan 6, Bishop High School 0. All us revisit the match and all of the good or not so good moments, depending what side of the pendulum you're on. And it started here. The captain, Arthur, having a good look. And then Quashi finding Dan Clare. Well, he thought he might have hit the target. Not that time. McKechnie, Steeson's in goal until Joseph picked the padlock here. Some clever footwork. And look at Faustin. Or Dan Clare for that matter. Right place and the right time, and that was 1-0 to San Juan. Well, after that, the door opened up and Lindell Sween huffed and he puffed but wasn't let in. But you can't keep a good man down. Sizzler Kalanji said that, and Lindell Sween executed and showed it. Excellent technique from the national youth player, and that was 2-0. After that, it was Quashi to open the door. Didn't need a key nor an invitation. Just a beautiful looking free kick. That made it 3-0. So SportsMax app moment as well. Salt Bay, if you will. And then later on, everybody was trying as confidence was high, but McKechnie was not about having it. Until this happened. And you felt that Dan Clare should have hit the target. And when you thought that the game was going to end like that, comes the magician. His second, Lindell Sween. And that was 4-0 to San Juan. After that, it was more from Sween. And that was his hat-trick. Look at this for a finish. Top quality stuff for Sween. Taking him to 8 goals. And then Joseph wanted to get in on the action, and he certainly did in the end. Goal number 6 for San Juan. And that was what the final script would say. San Juan 6, Bishop High School 0. Let's see what the numbers tell us about this match. And look at that, 21 shots. More than half of those on target for San Juan. In terms of shots, well, Bishop High, they've not done well in terms of that. When we come down to corners, a bit more even. 8 to San Juan, 5 to Bishop High. And possession rather evened out at the end of the match. 53 to San Juan, to San Juan's 47. 6-0, the final score. Well, we saw all of the scintillating action. It's time to talk to our man of the match, and it's the hat-trick scorer, Lindell Sween.
Thank you very much, James. I'm now joined by the NGC man of the match, Lindell Sween. Lindell, congratulations, a hat-trick today. Your assessment on your performance?
Well, I want to thank God for my performance today. I hope that I could continue getting man of the matches. And I want to keep my game consistent. Keep on doing what I'm doing right. And yeah, that's all.
Well, of course, 3 goals. You must have a favourite. Which one is the pick of the litter?
I think the first one is my favourite. When I take it and drive it in.
Well, we had a look of the first one. We also saw the other 2. Congratulations. You are the NGC man of the match.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Lyndall Sween. Of course, the man of the match for this fixture here. I'm now joined by the coaches. Of course, Coach Goddard first and foremost. Coach, disappointing result at the end of the day. Your assessment of the 90 minutes plus.
There's some basic errors that you really and truly don't do. You must track your players. Can't hold on to the ball too long. San Juan North is definitely one of the top teams in the competition, and if you create these errors for yourselves, a team like San Juan North will pick you apart, and that's pretty much what happened today. They played well, they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and we got punished for it.
Well, moving ahead, of course, we're close to the halfway point of the season. You did say staying in this division. It's important to you. How do you pick the boys up?
Well, we have to battle for our points. There's no question about it. We have to look at which opponents we have and see how best we could actually target those opponents, and some more scouting. It's an entire package. It's something that Bishop's High School is learning again at this point in time. We're one win more than we did the last time, but one win doesn't necessarily cut it. We need to be able to grind out some results, and I think as this season goes on, we're going to have to understand that grinding is pretty much what needs to happen.
Thank you very much, Coach. All the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, Coach Mo. Good results, big score line. Impressed?
I think it was a game of 2 halves. First half we had a lot of chances which we didn't take, and second half we scored with chances, and that was the difference in the game. Bishop's trying to put the ball long and play, so they have a philosophy which is good. But credit to my team, we didn't let the first half get us down, and we did a lot better second half.
What was the adjustment you made? You talked about the tale of 2 halves. What was the adjustment you made going into the second half?
The boys just need a little kick up their pants, sometimes, because we're on top of the table right now. I told them you have to cry more and laugh less, and stay focused on the job and be hungry still. So I think first half we just thought we just need to show up and we win the game, and guy was a little bit too greedy, in trying to score our first goal, but after we scored, I think we settled along a little bit.
Thank you very much, Coach. All the best to you in the rest of the season. Well, for our next broadcast, of course, coming up on this Wednesday, we have a cracker at Fatima College grounds. Fatima College comes up against Queens Royal College right here on the SportsMax SSFL Premiership. And of course, over the confirmation of the score, 6 goals to San Juan North Secondary, Bishop's High School 0. Here at Book Malatras, big score line, top of the table, San Juan North taking all 3 points. For all of us here at the SportsMax, we wish you farewell to all of you out there. Thank you for viewing.
Welcome to SSFL Premiership Division.